This is what a wool sock looks like up close. This is sort of what a synthetic sock looks like up close. There's lots of different types. It doesn't really matter. And then this is what a cotton sock looks like up close. The cotton sock is just like wearing a towel on your feet. It absorbs the sweat. Now we're going to talk about socks. There are many different types of socks. Here I have a sort of a synthetic sock. It's like a plastic sock, almost like a dress sock. It works fine too. This is a typical cotton sock, which is better for athletics because it sucks up the sweat. This one, the synthetics don't really suck up the sweat. They don't absorb it very well. And then this is a wool sock. This is probably lamb's wool, and it's very soft. These socks all have different properties, and you use them at the right time. The wool is the warmest, but it doesn't wear very well. So what you can do with that is, if you want to protect the wool, you put the wool on first, and then you put a synthetic sock over top, and then that keeps the wool beside your skin where it's real warm, and wool doesn't get very cold when it's wet. It's much better for being wet than synthetic or cotton socks. And then the synthetic protects the wool from being worn to bits by the boot. So then you protect both socks and you have the best of both worlds. The cotton socks are good for athletics because they absorb sweat, and that's what you want in athletics. You run around with the socks, whatever, white, black, whatever, doesn't matter as long as it's cotton. The cotton absorbs the sweat, and then you take the socks off and once you're done doing your athletic activities. So if you're an athlete and you have a problem, this is a technique from fencing, which is fighting with swords in the sport form. So what you have is two sets of socks. Say you're getting blisters on your feet. In that sport, you get tons of blisters on your feet. So what you do is you have one thin pair of socks that you put on, and then you put on a second pair of thin socks, and sometimes a third pair of thin socks as well. And what it does is somehow it stops the skin from rubbing as much on the shoe, and then it will often help your feet, and you won't get as many blisters. It's a very simple technique, but it can be quite effective.